Okay, welcome to Grunt Files, boys and girls. I'm not as pretty as Keith, but I'm doing the best job I can. We're here at Downshift at Rockley.
Well, Downshift is one of those events that we all get together. There's no bias on cars, and some people think there is, but as you can see, we've got a big mix of everything. And it's just a good place for us to come, and every month it gets bigger. A couple of months ago, only half the oval was filled, and that was literally 2 months ago. Now you can see we've nearly filled the whole thing, all of us as enthusiasts are together.
Mate, I can't count that quickly, but there'd be close to 600 cars out there, and like you said, big different, mate. Mate, have you been keeping an eye on this, the problems we've been having with the new possible impoundment laws?
Absolutely, and I think it's a bit ridiculous that we're no longer entitled to fight for our rights. It shouldn't be up to a police officer to impound our car straight away. We should have our right to fight to keep it, because if he's in a bad mood, that's the end of it. So we have no rights.
And you know what? Many of the cars here are quite standard. Maybe change a few wheels and so forth. But there could be a potential of being pulled over if the authorities think this is not a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Even small mods, from what I understand, are going to be picked on soon, and people don't realise just how tough these laws are going to be. And as a business that does a lot of modifications, whether it be looks or stereos or something, it's going to affect the livelihoods of a lot of people, including Autobarn, Super Cheap and all those kind of places.
Mate, look, I like the idea of you going around taking a panda on your back. Is he going to do a show for us a bit later on?
No. This is the mascot for Panda Industries Photography. So,
fair enough, not a problem.
So we get along well, help each other out.
You got any words on the matter? That's all right. He obviously doesn't. Okay then. Okay, Truman, thanks for your time, my friend.
Thanks, Aldo.
At Downshift, we found different type of cars that we normally find on Grunt Files. These are the 21st century cars, and we found Christian Bedewi. How are you, Christian?
I'm good, thanks, Aldo. Yourself?
Working hard, mate, as always.
That's the way.
Tell me, mate, this is a proper drift car, isn't it?
Yeah, a full track car now. It's been deregistered. Obviously, I'm still enlightening of getting a few roll cage and a few track car things, but for all intents and purposes now, it's just a track car, yeah.
Now, how did you get involved in getting a Nissan and getting it on a drift track, my friend? What makes you like these sort of cars?
Honestly, I fell in love with the car when I first took it for a drive about 4 or 5 years ago now. Yeah. First time it hit boost, honestly, I fell in love with the car, so I bought it back then, and obviously I've done a fair bit more work to it since then, but I've always been an import person, I think, since that first moment that I jumped in.
Yeah. Mate, the story you're saying is very common to everyone that's ever got in a car, fell in love with it, and done some of the either bought it or got it off some bloke out of his shed. Yeah. And it could be the V8, it could be the turbocharged 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder, and you've done it. And now you sort of developed it, and you've I think gone full on racing. Wouldn't call yourself a professional, would you? Or
not quite yet. I think I'm bordering on the line of going professional, getting involved with a few more competition series as well. But still, I guess, in that intermediate state, I guess, between amateur and pro.
You're obviously aware of the current sort of situation in Queensland where there's new vehicle impoundment laws being touted and possibly introduced.
Yeah.
Have you got any concerns about that, Christian?
Well, main concerns, I guess, for me, I obviously don't have my car registered anymore, but it's going to really affect, the businesses that we're looking to get involved with all these motorsports. They're going to be going, I guess, down because they're not going to have people from the street wanting to modify their cars because they don't want to get their cars impounded. So I guess whether or not the government's thought about that, it's not just going to affect the people on the streets, it's going to affect the businesses that support those people on the streets. So it could have a really negative effect to the whole car scene in general.
I've got to tell you, mate, the car modification or aftermarket car scene is $11 billion worth here in Australia. And if it's in any way tampered with, that's $11 billion that the community and the economy won't have. Anyway, Christian, I know you're spending a lot of money. I heard your story about your tyres, and you're definitely contributing to the economy.
I'm trying as best I can.
Well, mate, thank you very much for your time.
By all means, thank you.
And everyone look after for Christian at the drift track. Well, you'd never know who you meet when you go to a car enthusiast meeting spot, do you? Here we go with Hayden Butler. How are you, Hayden?
Mate, I can't complain. Yourself?
Coming here and walking around and finding people you meet everywhere when you go out to car events. Yeah, mate, we were talking a little bit about some of the things that are happening in the car scene regarding the new vehicle impoundment laws, and you had a bit of a story to tell us about it.
I did, mate. I was driving my daughter to school on a Thursday morning, stuck in traffic, doing about 25 kilometres an hour. A police officer ran across 3 lanes of traffic to pull me in. He pulled me up for 45 minutes, went through the car, found 3 minor defects, which means I've got sent to court and I'm now a registered hoon for dropping my daughter to school. Ridiculous.
And mate, you're about my vintage, maybe a bit younger to make you feel better, I don't know.
Mate, I'm 46 now, and I've been playing with cars for a long time. I drive on the Pro Tour for drifting with Raceline. I've done drift demos at Power Cruise, as well as all the other stuff we do with the Jeeps and the DJs and things.
Well, I'm pretty sure the viewers of Grunt Files recognise you, mate. They know you, mate, and they know your girls as well.
Oh yeah, the girls are fairly infamous, mate. I mean, every time we go out to events, we end up in all the major magazines, and people say, we don't know what Team Tonka or Truck and DJs are, but we thoroughly endorse them because the girls are always going crazy out there.
Well, you're a car enthusiast, and
Absolutely.
Thank you for following what we're doing and what's happening out there, and we'll keep you informed, eh?
Will do, thank you.
There's a bit of a link between car enthusiasts. The link is the love of cars, right? Now, I found Simon Mercer. People that follow the drift scene might know Simon, definitely will know Simon. You're a bit of a Pro-Am driver?
Yeah, that's correct. I've been competing and enjoying drifting for about 6 or 7 years now.
Now, with Simon, we've got a bit of a link to the old school. What happens is people who like V8s or the old school cars will usually stick to it. Simon started off liking Geminis, didn't you? You built a couple of Geminis in your time.
Yeah, I had 13 little Geminis over the time, sort of pre-ADR cars, chrome bumpers and things like that. And my influences growing up as a kid was always, things like Monaros and GTHOs and things that the old man grew up with. And yeah, I eventually just sort of made the transition over to,
Imports.
Yeah, imports, plastic.
Now, your car on any given track or any given competition is a Nissan Silvia.
Yes.
With a difference.
Yeah, I wanted to build something a bit different, a bit left of field to rustle a few feathers. So we've got the traditional Nissan Silvia. It's fiberglass. It's got the big wheels and the little tyres, but it's got a 5.7 litre Chev in it. So
a bit of grunt for the Grunt Files.
Yeah, a bit of grunt. Sort of, it turns heads. People go, oh, Silvia. Oh, that sounds a bit funny.
It's got a V8 in. Now look, there is a benefit to having a V8 in a drift car, isn't there?
Yeah, it drives differently. The biggest difference in running the V8 is the compression, because a lot of drifting, it's on the throttle, off the throttle, trying to position the car, and when you lift off with a V8, it behaves differently to a forced induction motor with a much lower compression ratio, so it's a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah, obviously the on boost is where you get the power with the turbos, and you might not have it when you need it with the turbos. With the V8 it's a little bit more rounded in the torque curve.
Yeah, I can make power a lot lower than a lot of those guys can. So the car is more effective at different spots to a lot of the other guys, so it makes the driving more interesting for the spectators because we mix it up a little bit, and it's something different to watch.
And something though that you've said in the past and people might not realise, you don't need 1 billion horsepower to make these drift cars go well. Roughly about the 400 horsepower is what you're looking for usually, isn't it?
If you're building an all-out competition car, 400 sort of seems to be the magic number, but it's a science, and you can get any amount of power to drift, and a perfect example of that is the little rear-wheel drive Corolla platform. To this day, as technology continues to advance, yeah, a little Corolla like this. In this day and age, this car can still be competitive with the old school technology.
Excellent.
And it's just a science,
Yep. And it's fun. It's bloody fun, isn't it?
Certainly. Getting it down to a T, it's just magic, when everything works.
Mate, have you been following any of these anti-hoon law conversations that have been happening around the place? Have you got any concerns on it?
I certainly have, Aldo. It's something very, very close to my chest. And yeah, it's something that is very concerning, to say the least.
Well, look, we want the scene to grow. We want you and the younger people coming up through the ranks to like cars. It doesn't matter V8s or drift cars or Nissan Silvias or imports. And if the laws come through, it's going to put a lot of pressure on people on the roads being targeted or being called hoons, especially in the media. And Grunt Files, uniting with all the car enthusiasts, is trying to make sure that we've got a voice, and we're going to talk to people in your scene a bit further as we go along to make sure that you're included in whatever talks and developments that we make into the political scene for our scene. Well, anyway, Simon, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me, Aldo and Grunt Files. Thank you.
Fantastic. Anyway, Keith, you should have been here, buddy. I know you're busy and I know you're on different assignments, but look what nice job you got, mate. I like it. Anyway, ladies, you're here to serve a very important role. All these dirty cars need to be washed, and they're going to come and talk to you.
Yep.
What's your plan of action when you're washing a car? Can you show us?
Get it wet.
No, get it wet. Okay.
Get it wet and then clean it.
No
Scrub
problem.
it.
Yeah. That's,
It's nice and wet, and then soak it up good.
what's your name? Sorry.
Jessie.
Jesse. And your name?
May.
Mate. Are you very much into the car scene, or is this the first time you've been involved?
Really, I know friends that do their cars up and come to these meets, but I'd never really been to one myself.
And you were telling me that the reason you're here is not because you want to wash cars. What was the reason?
I like being half naked.
I think half our viewers would like that as well. Anyway, enjoy the day. Thanks very much for your time. And Keith, you should have been here, buddy. Car modifications and cars that are part of the car enthusiast scene come in very different shapes and sizes. Mate, I love the little Corolla. Tell us a bit about it, Paul.
It's just got the 4A GZE supercharged motor in it.
Yep.
It's got a bit of work done to it. The front mount intercooler, the computer's been redone, suspension, brakes, sway bars, all that kind of stuff.
All legal?
Yeah, all legal.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Well, look, Paul Trotter, did I say that right? Yep. Has been following the stories we've been putting on the Grunt Files Facebook page regarding the vehicle impoundments, and you've been quite active. You actually get actually upset and angry, and you pick up the phone and you ring politicians, police people regarding a car show that was at the Sunshine Coast. Tell us what happened, mate.
I called the police complaints line. Or first I called Police Link, and they basically gave me the runaround. They said that this thing was set up months in advance, and that just happened to be a coincidence that it coincided on the same day. And then in the newspaper article that was released the next day, the police spokeswoman said that it was actually a targeted thing. And I just didn't like being lied to like that, so I ended up speaking to the Ethics Commission and just put a complaint in first about being lied to, and then just started asking questions about why these things are targeted, how they plan this targeting and why. And again, I seemed to get a bit of a runaround. And the officer I spoke to, he used the word hoon a lot, and I told him that I wasn't happy with the word hoon being used, that it was offensive. And he said that he didn't realise that the word hoon was offensive, but he was more than happy to stop using it because it was offending people. I
mean, a bit of a background to that story. That was a bit of a car show put together for a guy that had died unfortunately in a motorbike accident, and car enthusiasts up the Sunshine Coast got together and did a fundraiser. And police, for various reasons, some Paul identified, were defecting cars as they were driving past going to this event. So that was a good call. I would probably urge everyone, if you have an issue with the car modification scene, with the authorities, talk to someone. I mean, ring up the authorities that are interested and get informed. Like you're getting informed, now more than you did before, because you had a bit of a initiative to call these people. Anyway, Paul Trotter, you're a legend.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us on Grunt Files.
Thanks, guys.
Well, Grunt Files is doing it again, and Downshift has been a fantastic event. We've enjoyed ourselves thoroughly, and Matty's put it all together. How you going, Matty?
Thank you. Fantastic. How are you?
Mate, I've enjoyed myself, like I said. Mate,
Excellent.
I couldn't count all the cars, but you got a rough figure. How many cars showed up today?
Approximately 650 cars, which is a little bit smaller than our last couple of meets.
Smaller?
But yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
So last time was about 950 or so, but that's okay. It sort of fluctuates up and down. I think 650 is still a pretty good number.
Mate, look, what's the point of putting an event like this? What do you think car enthusiasts get out of it?
I think it sort of gives people somewhere to go, somewhere to hang out, somewhere to spend time, meet other people, socialise, get some photos taken, all those sort of things without actually being in other people's way. That entertainment for the car community, the car enthusiast community, is really the purpose behind these. Yeah.
You know what? This is very common to all car scenes, whether you got the V8s or whether you got the imports. And actually there was a good mix of cars here. There's standard cars, done-up cars, there's even a couple of race cars here, which was excellent.
Right.
Now look, to organise an event like this is quite a big effort, isn't it? Like there's a bit of money involved, isn't it?
It's time consuming and it is expensive. Unfortunately, we do have to pay for things like public liability insurance and venue hire, but I won't bore you with the details. It is expensive, but that's okay. Look, as long as we are able to get contribution from the people that come, then we're able to continue doing these meets and give people somewhere to go and something to do.
You've done a great thing. It will not be the first time I'm coming to a Downshift event. I'll be back
Fantastic.
again.
I'm glad to hear.
I want to bring all you guys back here and come and see Maddie's event. Check out these cars. You may not think if you like V8s or if you're into the old school that you're not going to like it, but there's quite a lot of interesting cars and
we do get a good
ideas.
mix. We do get a good mix.
And you know what? From time immemorial, since we've been modifying cars, you look at places like this to get ideas.
Yeah.
You know, there's quite a lot of ideas.
There's a lot of cross-fertilisation between different car genres, isn't there? Yeah, definitely.
And in many ways, this is a new generation coming up into the car modification scene. And I know you've been keeping an eye on the developments on Grunt Files and with the ACT.
I have indeed. I've been following you with a very keen eye. I'd love to be on board and help you guys out with what you're doing. I think it's fantastic that someone's taken this on board and has invested their time and energy and money into changing things, into improving things, and I think that's what it's all about.